All right, come join Kyle, John, and David as they go through what's on their playlist. Find out what's everyone's favourite at Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. We have a few segments, to be honest. In and out points, no celebs and the gossip. Back in time where we're talking about the big M's, coming attractions, what the cue. Quick checks, who'll be laughing? You abundantly. Welcome to Dual Redundancy.
The only podcast where you can hear all latest in television, entertainment news, and Emmy predictions from somebody else with exactly the same predictions. We'll see. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and the third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the outstanding supporting actor in a comedy series to John's outstanding directing in a comedy series to Dave's, okay, I'll give it to you, outstanding lead actor in a comedy series. You are our lead here.
I am the lead. Just three clowns here in the comedy series podcasting race. Talk about, oh boy, a very didn't we just do this? I feel like we just did this.
Wasn't it in January or something? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Can we say it's our 14th annual? I mean, it's our 14th prediction special.
Yeah.
It's for the 76th Primetime Emmy Awards that are going to take place on September 15th, 2024 on ABC. This is not to be confused with the 75th Primetime Emmy Awards that were on Fox back in January that were delayed from last September because of the strikes. So it is the second time we are predicting this calendar year for the Emmys, but it's the correct ceremony. It's the September ceremony. We are live on both Twitch and on YouTube tonight. The chat is open, so you can share your thoughts. If you're listening to this, I recommend checking out the video because we're going to have a lot of graphics, a lot of stats, a lot of just different elements to show you throughout as well. You can watch those for playback on both Twitch and on YouTube. It's our second podcast about the Emmys. In the last month, we reacted back in episode 447 about all the nominations. You know, we live the day they came out. We discussed them all in depth, so you can check out that episode 447 in our archives. But tonight, we're doing predictions. We're doing predictions tonight for programs that aired between June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. That is the eligibility window. So you're not going to see The Boys. You're not going to see House of the Dragon. You're not going to see Industry. Instead, just to give you a sense of that time period, you had shows like Black Mirror Season 6 and The Idol, both of which actually are nominated. But for instance, The Bear is nominated for Season 2 tonight, not Season 3, which came out in June, even though it is September. Very, very tricky how they snuck that around in there. But all right, Kyle, how you feeling tonight? We're going to do a little bit of it's a casual predictions. There's no bet this year.
Well, yeah, I'm happy about that because I will say my TV watching I've been doing a lot more movie watching recently.
I noticed on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Are you trying to switch podcasts on us? You're going to be on the good, the bad, and the watchable soon?
Yes, that's my plan. I've had enough here.
Yeah.
No, so I'm a little nervous about my picks. I'm going to be honest, I didn't do like pretty much any research. So that'll be fun for my own analysis out of my brain and my overall thoughts of how I think the Emmys traditionally go and thoughts of who I actually kind of want to win and stuff like that. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'll definitely share some what I want to win, because what I want to win doesn't really line up to what I've been hearing in the buzz. And also there's some of these shows, I didn't get around to seeing, but I think between the two of us, I think we've seen a bunch of these contenders here, at least the main players for this. And before we get to the categories, we're going to go through all the major categories. I want to just, briefly talk about some stats. Because this year, some big players are not in the race, compared to last year. Leaders like Succession, The Last of Us, The White Lotus, Ted Lasso, they're all out. They're not eligible this year. Instead, we got a bunch of new shows that are up there. And if we look at total noms, we have Shogun leading overall with 25 nominations, followed by The Bear with 23 and Only Murders in the Building with 21. Now, if we look at the major nominations for those shows, those featured that are in the prime time broadcast on ABC, we have Morning Show actually leading with 11, The Bear with 9, and then The Crown and Shogun with 8. Just overall thoughts, Kyle, on those leaders across the board.
I mean, I think we talked about this. The morning show was a big surprise for all of us. I mean, they practically own an entire category in
Yeah.
this in the acting, the supporting acting.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking just now. I do think Shogun deserves a lot of love. Out of all the shows, that was probably the best one that I watched all year. So I'm not surprised with that. But yeah, the morning show, that still is a head scratcher. I don't know where that love is coming from. I don't know if it's just the stars that are in it, but I've not heard great things about it. And I've really had no desire to go back and watch it ever since I think we checked out the pilot and maybe a few episodes back in the first season. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because, I'm looking at some stats here for like the morning show, like 16 nominations this year total.
mhm.
And so far, this is season 3, 27 nominations total. So it's
Mhm.
almost like, that's the majority of their nominations
Yeah.
came just in this season. And I'm wondering, is it like maybe is there some kind of like, I think we talked about in our reaction special, maybe a little bit of a weaker year.
Mhm.
You don't have the Succession and Better Call Saul and the major players in
Mhm.
especially the drama category, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you know, with all those nominations, still only has ever won one, which may come
Yeah.
around in a little bit. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But
I will say, but the Bear, I think
yeah,
season 2 was really good.
yep.
So I think it deserves
Yeah.
all the nominations it got.
Season 3,
Season 3, yeah, we're trending downwards on that one. But we'll see. We'll see if that hurts them this
yeah,
year.
definitely.
Because it is weird how the current season could affect the way the voting block is could affect the past seasons. It's just a weird way that it works, but
Hmm.
we'll see.
And we're talking about these like 3 shows here, the main leader, Shogun, Bear, Only Murders. They all share something, and it's confusion of what network they actually belong to. And if we look at the nominations by network, it's usually a race between Netflix and HBO, but this year FX posed a huge threat. Netflix did lead with 107 total nominations, but FX got second place with 93. This is
Mm,
the first time FX has even come close to winning the title. It beat Max and HBO by 2. They got 91 total nominations. But if we look again at the major nominations by network, FX leads with 33. That's what we're going to see on that Sunday night on ABC. Netflix is next with 27, and then Apple TV Plus is actually ahead of HBO Max with 26, and then it's HBO and Max with 23. I think it's just like been like a really rougher year, I think, for HBO and Max. I mean, they don't have House of the Dragon, they don't have Succession, they don't have Last of Us, White Lotus, the industry, like they don't have some of their major players. Instead, their shows this year, if you look at what they had, The Idol, The Sympathizer, The Regime, the
mm,
latter two with Robert Downey Jr. and Kate Winslet, you would think, whoa, those would be major players.
mm,
Like one nomination apiece for those.
yeah. And
And
I think a lot of that comes down to whatever they have going on with the Max HBO brand. I think it's a branding problem. I think it's a marketing problem. And I'm actually surprised, Apple TV Plus, I've heard great things about all their shows. They do not market
no,
their shows well at all, which is,
they have some great talent. And I
yeah.
saw like a tweet the other day. It's like, oh, we just got like a team of like, 20 Academy Award winners. We're spending tens of millions of billions of dollars on this thing. No commercials. Meanwhile, Netflix is like, hey, we got Love Island season 12 here. Eat
Yeah.
this slop, It's just
Yeah.
like they're promoting it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfinished Beef. I tuned in. Like it's people are watching it because people are
Hmm.
promoting it. But anyways, it's just so screwy because like HBO and Max are combined here. Meanwhile, FX and Hulu are not. So it's like Only Murders, which airs on Hulu, is in Hulu's tally, but The Bear, which is an FX show, does not air on FX, but it does air on Hulu. It's not in that tally. Meanwhile, Hacks, which is on Max only, is in the HBO and Max tally.
Mm,
At a certain point, all these things are just the same, and we just have to be
yeah.
like, all right, what does, what did they always say in like 30 Rock, the Scheinhart Wig Company, like what that company, like NBC,
Mm,
Comcast, all the different companies, like what does that one company earn? Because it's like really
yeah.
should just be Disney. Hey, Disney, what did you get?
Yeah.
Like done.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But yeah, I wonder if they do that just for branding purposes. Like they don't want the bear associated with the Disney product. They want it to be its own separate entity. Like, didn't Miramax used to be a part of Disney and that was their
Hmm,
rated R
something
brand?
like that.
So it's
But just
just
interesting because it's like I could
yeah,
see it not being on Disney Plus, but it's like
yeah,
Hulu, like don't you want like Hulu to shine a bit? Like why is Only Murders only on the Hulu one, but like
yeah.
The Bear and Shogun were on FX? I guess Shogun did air on FX, so that makes sense, but The Bear was
Mhm.
only on Hulu. Like it's a mess. It's a
When in
mess.
reality, everyone's probably accessing those on the
Yeah.
streaming service rather than the original network. I mean, I wonder what the numbers are for the actual cable network itself.
Yeah. I mean, because even if like with Abbott Elementary, I'm pretty sure that is a Warner Brothers production, but it's classified under ABC. Like
Mm,
if I want to right now, if I want to watch episodes of it, I go on a Max to
yeah,
watch it, even though
yeah.
it airs on ABC, Disney. It's okay. Enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get to our predictions. Tonight we're gonna do will win maybe a dark horse. But it's casual. We're not gonna have to worry about Bard. We're not gonna compete against Bard this year. But AI will be reading off tonight's nominees, of course. We can't leave AI out completely. So let's do the first category. We're gonna start with drama, and we're gonna start with outstanding supporting actor in a drama series.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series are Tadanobu Asano, Shogun; Billy Crudup, The Morning Show; Mark Duplass, The Morning Show; John Hamm, The Morning Show; Takehiro Hira, Shogun; Jack Lowden, Slow Horses; and Jonathan Pryce, The Crown.
All right. Kyle, start me off. Where are you going?
All right. So, this is strictly by how I liked him in the show. But my will win is going to be Tadanobu Asano. I hope I pronounced that
Mhm.
right. But yeah, he was a great actor in the show, kind of playing both sides, um, and really showcasing this fierceness, but then also this diminutiveness, this kind of like snake in the grass at times. So I think he did a good job. I got to be honest, I'm not totally familiar with everyone else's performance here. But my dark horse is going to be in the Crown universe because I really think it's going to be this battle between the Crown and Shogun. So my dark horse is Jonathan Pryce.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're going with stuff. And I will say I will use that sentiment later on a bit, but I
Hmm.
will go. I don't know why, but I have your will win as my dark horse.
Okay.
And I really do think like it will we always say you'll know in the night how it's going. If Shogun's picking up some stuff, it's like, all right, it's a Shogun night. And I think they'll do very well. Don't get me wrong, I think they'll do very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think though, we talked about it at the start of this show. They love this morning show. And they love this guy, Billy Crudup. He's
Yep.
won before. Obviously he's against some co-stars, but like we saw it in the last couple of years here. I'm not too worried about vote splits. Matthew McFadden last year was okay, and the entire
Mm-hmm.
category was Succession pretty much and White Lotus. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't worry too much about a split there. I mean, obviously you have multiple people from Shogun, you have multiple people from Morning Show, but I'm gonna just go with him as my will win. Um, just off of that, just off of this crazy love that the Academy for some reason has for the morning show,
Mhm.
spreading it around a bit. I don't think, if you look at some of the other ones, I don't think even though I just said all this stuff about morning show, I don't think John Hamm, if anything, he's more likely for Fargo, I think,
Fargo,
than
yeah.
this. And besides, it took him forever to win for Don Draper. He's not going to win for season 3 of the morning show. Like, but
You never know.
you never know. But yeah, all right, cool. We're starting off. It's nice to have a little bit of a difference here. It's not like our Oscar show where,
Yeah.
but all right, let's go to the next category, supporting actress in a drama series.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series are Christine Baranski, The Gilded Age, Nicole Beharie, The Morning Show, Elizabeth Debicki, The Crown, Greta Lee, The Morning Show, Leslie Manville, The Crown, Karen Pittman, The Morning Show, and Holland Taylor, The Morning Show.
I did say stuff about vote splits here. There's too many morning shows in this.
Yeah,
That's
it's
where I
way
worry
too many.
about. So I'm not going that for my. I'll start off with my will win. I'm kind of, what you said about The Crown. I'm going that way, and I'm going to go with Elizabeth Debicki as my will win, and then my dark horse, sticking with it, Leslie Manville.
Mhm.
So as for why, I mean, this is The Crown's swan song. This is the final season. Um, I've heard mixed things about the season, but I think everyone agrees Debicki is like the best part.
Mhm.
She's already won the SAG award back in February, and at SAG they have supporting and lead all together. So it's like she beat out the lead performances, which we'll get to in a bit. Plus, she already won the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice. So that's my will win. Haven't heard too much about really any of the other morning show performances. What I hear about the show is like I hear about John Hamm and of course Jennifer and Reese. So I haven't really heard too much about these performances. If I had to pick one of the four, maybe Greta Lee, just because of the year she's having and has
Mhm.
had, but I couldn't speak to that. Kyle, where are you going with this category?
Yeah, I'm with you. I love Greta Lee, but I just there's just too much morning show happening here. I just don't see it happening. I think the Emmys are going to go back to The Crown, and I am on the same wavelength you are. I'm going Elizabeth Debicki as my will win and Leslie Manville as my dark horse. I've only saw a few episodes of The Crown. It actually, and not in order. I saw them like randomly. So she's probably the best part. I mean, her and Imelda Staunton is good too, but she's really, really good as Princess Di.
Yeah.
And it's I think The Crown, that season was about Princess Di,
Yeah.
that whole saga. So it was really her chance to shine there. So I think that's why I think she will win. I honestly do think she will win.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too familiar with The Crown. Would you say Princess Di as a character in the final season is a lead performance, and because she's here in supporting actress, or is it just one of those,
I
oh, it's
think they
an
still,
ensemble, so it's like,
yeah, it's an ensemble. So I think they still try to make it more about the royal family. And they do have some stories where she is not in it. But I think when you think about that time period, that is the overarching, uh, kind of storyline amongst the royal family, because even when she's not on screen, she's still affecting the what's happening with the royal family. So
yeah,
I think it's fine for her to be in the supporting actress because it is such an ensemble cast. Um, but like I said, I didn't see the entire
Mhm.
season, so I'm not sure how much she's in it overall.
Mhm.
But I did see there was a few episodes where she wasn't the main feature in the episode.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, well, all right. Let's now move to the lead acting categories.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series are Idris Elba, Hijack, Donald Glover, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Walton Goggins, Fallout, Gary Oldman, Slow Horses, Hiroyuki Sanada, Shogun, and Dominic West, The Crown.
John, you pointed this out before the show started, but I just heard it now. Why is the AI breathing so heavily?
They're trying to make it lifelike.
It has like an actual like wind up. It's like
Yeah, dude. Dude, that's creepy to me, man. That's so creepy.
That's so
like
weird. Oh boy. Well, it's getting real, folks. It's getting real.
Yeah, that's like, oh man, they're trying to make it like a real person. I can't.
All
Can't.
right. All right. Well, Kyle, where are you going in this category?
All right, so I'm going down Shogun Lane, and my will win is gonna be Hiroyuki Sanada. Uh, I thought he was great in that role. I think Shogun was popular. I think it had a ton of nominations. I think everyone here is like, what's crazy is like he's the no name, I think, in this whole
Mhm.
group, which is
It's happened before. I mean,
yeah, but
this Squid Game cleaned up in a
yeah. So
lead category. Yeah.
I think it's one of those where it could be a Shogun night. So I'm going down that road. My dark horse, and I really do think this is a dark horse, and I do think he did like an awesome job in the series, and I really like this series. I think if I were to choose like a legitimate
Mhm.
second option, it would probably be Dominic West, but I'm going with my heart here. My dark horse is Walton Goggins. I thought he was fantastic as that character. And so that is my dark horse. And that
Nice.
really truly would be a dark horse, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, he is a an actor I think Hollywood has loved, obviously between Righteous Gemstones and now here with
Mhm.
Fallout. Like he's very versatile, definitely showing a lot of range with all of his different performances. I say we match again with Will Win. Again, going in on Shogun, it's like I have that. It is as either my Will Win or Dark Horse. Like I got to cover my bases with that. My Dark
Mhm.
Horse, though, I went with Gary Oldman. Actually, just I think people really love Slow Horses.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Movie star, Oscar winner. It's like sometimes, I always worry with like something like with like sci-fi, like for like Fallout, just when we have Game of Thrones, sure, one series, but like none of the actors ever like, well, I guess Peter Dinklage, but like out, the rest of the cast really didn't shine too much, Kit Harington and like that kind of group. And I feel like Hijack is, from what I remember hearing, it seems a little campy.
Mhm.
Just like it's just like, okay, you start crossing off dark horses and you're like, okay, well, I guess it's the guy who's, won an Oscar, kind of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I think with at least this category, and spoiler maybe for my next category, Shogun Night. So we can jump to lead actress.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series are Jennifer Aniston, The Morning Show, Carrie Coon, The Gilded Age, Maya Erskine, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Anna Sawai, Shogun, Imelda Staunton, The Crown, and Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to go off of with past awards. Succession was still winning at the Golden Globes and SAG this year, but I'm gonna go in, and I think this might be the one I feel the most like it's probably gonna happen. I think with Shogun, I'm gonna go with Anna Sawai. For my will win. The TCA has like one award for all drama performances, or even like it includes some of the limited series. So you have Jodie Foster, Richard Gere, Andrew Scott, Juno Temple, all these like actors in this category, and the winner was Anna Sawai. So I think there's a lot of love for that performance. As for my dark horse, I'm gonna go with the Queen. I'm gonna go with the Crown. Again, doing the Shogun and the Crown thing. Maybe there's gonna be a morning show split between Reese and Jennifer. But I'm gonna go with Imelda Staunton, I believe,
Mhm.
for my dark horse. Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. My will win is Anna Sawai, and my dark horse is Imelda Staunton. Um, what's interesting about like both the lead actor and the lead actress in that series, and like you're taking like the Japanese culture, which is supposed to be very reserved, and then they have to kind of find these moments where like you just see like the look in their eyes or just a facial tick to make them change the chemistry or change the tone of a scene. And they're able to do that, and I think that's why they're probably deserving of these awards, you know.
Definitely. Definitely, yeah. And I think, what we've been talking about with Shogun and The Crown and all that stuff tonight, that might be a spoiler for our final drama series category, which we'll discuss now.
The nominees for Outstanding Drama Series are The Crown, Fallout, The Gilded Age, The Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, and Three Body Problem.
All right. I think it's your turn to go first, Kyle. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference between the two of us.
Yeah. I'll just, I finally finished the Three Body Problem. I'm honestly surprised that
Yeah.
got
I
a
think
nomination
I think that's
based
what we've been
on.
saying is like this is maybe a weaker pool.
Yeah, it's just it was not. There was a lot of weird holes in it, the strange moments in it. But I love Fallout. I did like Mr. and Mrs. Smith too. I liked what they did with that. But my will win is gonna be Shogun. I do think it was the best series that I watched from this past year, probably besides maybe Fallout. And my dark horse is going to be The Crown. I just it's once the Emmys gets on a train of stuff, they just tend to keep going in that direction. And it seems to me that the voters love like British time period pieces. So I think it's just one of those things where if it's not going to be Shogun, it's going to be The Crown.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like to admit when they're wrong, and then if they are going to admit when they're wrong, it has to be like something like brand new, the shiniest,
Mm,
coolest thing.
mm,
Um, I match exactly with you on this. Shogun leads not only in drama series for total noms, but in overall noms of all the Emmy shows this year with 25. And we're already predicting 2 acting awards for the series.
mm,
And I think it's going to get writing and directing and a bunch of below the line awards. But as for number 2, the dark horse, I'm going to go with The Crown. It's a proven winner. Sure, it's the final season. Like it was mixed reviews, but hey, it's the final season. And
mm.
to cap it off, see you later, kind of here's your final prize. It was number 2 to Shogun in total nominations with 18. As we said, could win for supporting actress. It's won drama series in the past. And then yeah, and then if you just look at the rest of the noms, as we've been saying tonight, I don't think they're going sci-fi. Like they outside of like Game of Thrones, they really like it has to be huge for them to jump on board the sci-fi train. So like that kind of, can eliminate at least with this Fallout Three Body Problem. I feel like the Gilded Age kind of squeaked itself in. I heard it's very on the more campy side, maybe so is the morning show. So it's like again, I'm just crossing them off, and it's like, well, okay, like what has the love, what has the support, and I just think it's those two fighting it out. But I'm just bummed that we don't have something like The Curse, or Emma Stone
Mm,
competing. I know we talked about in the reaction special and
mm.
how it's not really a drama series. I mean, probably was a comedy series, but then also with how it ended, it was probably a limited series. But I'm
Yeah.
just going off of what they submitted themselves at the Golden Globes for, and it was submitted as a drama there. Emma Stone was a drama actress there. I think
Yeah.
over some of these shows, for the
Yeah.
chances it took, at the very least for Emma Stone to make it in, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
After watching, I totally agree. I mean, the character that she plays is like she's nailing it to a
yeah,
T. And at moments you feel kind of bad, but then you're like, this character's terrible. This
yeah,
person's terrible. And she plays it so well. It is egregious that she was not nominated. She probably would have won. In
I
my
think there was a
mind,
lot
she
of
could have.
talk of like,
Yeah,
oh, she's got this wrapped up. And
yeah,
like to not even get nominated that was a surprise.
crazy, 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 crazy.
Well, all right. We finished off drama. Now let's go into our next category, the limited or anthology series category.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie are Jonathan Bailey, Fellow Travelers, Robert Downey Jr., The Sympathizer, Tom Goodman Hill, Baby Reindeer, John Hawkes, True Detective, Night Country, Lamorne Morris, Fargo, Lewis Pullman, Lessons in Chemistry, and Treat Williams, Feud, Capote versus the Swans.
Okay. So I think my one is going to surprise people. This is based solely on research. What I'm hearing, the buzz is going out there because I haven't seen the show. I don't know much about this show. Um, Especially when you have a big name in this category, an Oscar winner, a recent Oscar winner. He's not my will to win, though. Now, will win is Jonathan Bailey. And he's won a recent Satellite Award. He won the Critics' Choice Award earlier this year for this performance. So that's where I'm going will win. As for Dark Horse, I can't not take him off the board. I mean, it's Robert Downey Jr. just because of the success he's had. Obviously, the name, the Oscar winning, like just it's the name in this category. He plays multiple different characters in each episode of The Sympathizer. The thing that was like stopping me from like the will win for him is it's the show's only nomination. So like there's not much love across the board. I wonder if it was people like, oh, we gotta vote for him. He came to do TV. And sometimes like the Emmys don't necessarily go movie star. Sure, you have Michael Keaton and Ewan McGregor in the past win limited, but like Matthew McConaughey, he lost True Detective to Bryan Cranston. Jarrell Jerome beat Mahershala Ali, Benicio del Toro, Hugh Grant, and Sam Rockwell all in the same year. So I don't know. That's where I'm going with that. Kyle, where are you going?
Yeah, I gotta say, my knowledge of uh, some of these shows is very, very limited. At clearly, the category fits the category, but my will win is strictly star power. I went with Robert Downey Jr., and that was my total. I haven't seen the show. I honestly had no desire to see the show. Um,
I was excited for Park Chan-wook, like I heard good things. The
mm,
pilot looked great. I couldn't get into it after like two or
mm,
three episodes of I couldn't get into the world as well. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, love it or hate it, because like each episode, Robert Downey Jr. is doing a new Sacha Baron Cohen character kind of thing. And it's like, oh,
mm,
this one's not working, or this one, oh, this one's good, so it's kind of
yeah.
like, what flavor of the week it is.
Yeah. So I just strictly went with star power here. So that was my basis for that selection. Um, Now Lamorne Morris, I did like him in Fargo, but I
Let's be honest,
I
I'm
don't.
surprised by the nom. I
Yeah, I
liked him,
was.
but
Yeah, I only saw a couple of episodes of Lessons in Chemistry. Um, and the Baby Reindeer nomination is surprising to me too, because I mean there were so few episodes, but he was like in an episode or like an episode and a half.
I bet it
Even
was one of
though,
those things. If it's like 6 episode series,
yeah,
it's like, oh, you're in two. That's a third of
yeah,
the series or something like that.
and I mean what that character does affects the whole basis of the lead, so that nomination makes sense. Um, I like this guy's portrayal in this show. So this was my dark horse reasoning. John Hawkes. I mean,
Okay.
I thought True Detective was
Yeah.
okay this year. I thought he kind of played this tortured soul in a way, and then the way he dies is just, spoiler alert, is crazy. So, um,
Um,
so yeah, that's my reasoning there.
I hear you. I think for also Robert Downey Jr., like thinking about it, I think there's like something of like the too cool for school Oscar speech he did was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, I don't need this. And it's just like, is he even going to show up for the Emmys? Just like, is he too good for it? Like, it's like,
Is
he's
Robert
like,
Downey Jr. just Iron Man?
at this point, like, it'd be one of those things for like, he went all in for his Oscar campaign. It's like, I'm done with Marvel. I'm stretching my wings. I got a HBO show coming out. I'm in Oppenheimer. I'm doing all this stuff. And then as soon as he got that Oscar, he's like, where's that dump truck of money? I just
Hmm.
bring it into my backyard. I'm ready. Let's do this again. Let me put on the cape. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I think there's a lot of people online too that were like, he's getting paid how much? How much?
Yeah,
Really?
I know. It's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
So, all right. Let's now move to supporting actress.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie are Dakota Fanning Ripley, Lily Gladstone Under the Bridge, Jessica Gunning Baby Reindeer, Asia Naomi King Lessons in Chemistry, Diane Lane Feud Capote vs. the Swans, Nava Mao Baby Reindeer, and Kali Rice True Detective Night Country.
All right, Kyle, where are you going?
So my will win, and I think she was phenomenal in the series, even though I had mixed feelings about the series. My will win is going to be Jessica Gunning from Baby Reindeer. I thought she played that role to perfection. And even though I love Dakota Fanning, and I thought, she was fine in Ripley, but I really love Dakota Fanning's acting, and there's a lot of other heavy hitters here. But my dark horse is going to be Callie Reese from True Detective,
Hmm.
because I really do think that show, True Detective, was Jodie Foster and Callie Reese. I
Yeah,
really do think it
100%.
was them. So,
100%. And I will say, like, I'll just say right now, I match. Those are my will wins and dark horses as well. There's also something to the fact of with there's being so much TV out there. Sometimes it's like, what are the most watched, most popular, most buzzy
mm,
shows? Because
mhm.
like people have Netflix. People, I mean, you saw last year with Beef. It's like they go all in. I saw this show. I love this show. I'm going all in. And the most popular shows of these two were definitely, I haven't seen the ratings, but I'm pretty sure it would be Baby Reindeer and True Detective Night Country.
Mm,
I don't know outside of Kyle, anyone who's watched any episodes of Lessons in Chemistry. I really enjoyed Ripley. We'll talk about that
mhm.
um in a bit. But yeah, like Under the Bridge, I believe that's Hulu. Like it's like one of those things like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, and Feud. Like, yeah, that was on. Like that was released. But like
Mm,
I'm not hearing anything about that, even with that all-star cast. And I just think like this is just a slam dunk for Jessica Gunning. Like she's in the most talked about series, most talked about character, so good at the role. And I do want to shout out though, like Nava Mao, I think is
mm.
also great in Baby
Yeah.
Reindeer. So I
Yeah.
was really glad to see that nomination as well. But yeah, I just think it's between those two, and I really think it's Jessica Gunning for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's now move to lead actor.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie are Matt Bomer, Fellow Travelers, Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer, John Hamm, Fargo, Tom Hollander, Feud, Capote vs. the Swans, and Andrew Scott, Ripley.
All right, so I think I have to reveal mine first here. I think I have it. I think it's a tight race between two, and I think two are very deserving. One I maybe personally liked a little bit more, and I'll say, like the ideal scenario of how to share the wealth. But I'm gonna go Will Win, Richard Gadd, and my dark horse, Andrew Scott. I could easily see them going Scott here, especially if they, maybe we give Gad, writing or the series win, share the love a little bit here. Because I think my personal pick, I really love Andrew Scott. I think he's paid his dues. He didn't get nominated for Hot Priest back in Fleabag, and he's just so good in Ripley. I really enjoyed that series. I can't take my eyes off of him. He's just a unique, like, what is this guy up to character. But you saw it last year, I think, with like with Beef. You know, it swept series, both lead acting, both writing and directing. And the year before that with like White Lotus series, both supporting, both writing and directing. And I think it could be we're going all in on Baby Reindeer. So it's a Baby Reindeer night. But Kyle, what do you think?
I have the same thing, but flipped.
Ooh,
My will
okay.
win is Andrew Scott, and my dark horse is Richard Gadd. Um, for all the reasons that you said, I just think Andrew Scott is phenomenal as Ripley, and I
I would
it
love it. I would love it.
he's
Don't get me
so
wrong. I
good.
want that. Like,
Yeah, he's so good that I just can't choose anyone else. Is really what it comes down to. But I could easily see it going to Richard Gadd, because I mean, just the situations that you know he's put in and the emotions that come through the screen. It could easily be Richard Gadd. So,
yeah,
but I just think Andrew Scott is just so good as Ripley that,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
look.
I personally, I liked the Ripley more than,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah, I mean, definitely a much better watch, enjoyable watch for sure. But I just hope, man, like, let's spread the wealth a bit. Like I
yeah.
said, give him writing, very personal
Mm,
work. Give Andrew
hmm
Scott this, like let's spread it out instead of like, all right, it's just 6 wins for Richard, Gad, it's just like, okay, let's everyone deserves participation
hmm
trophies.
But
But
you know what? As a Mad Men fan, I'm glad to see John Hamm is back because, like,
double
there were
nominee
times
this
where it's
year.
like, where is John Hamm? It's
Just
like
doing
he's,
commercials
yeah,
and
I know, but it looks like he's back to doing. He did a good job in Fargo,
Hmm,
so I'm glad he got nominated.
definitely. All right, our next and final acting category for limited series.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie are Jodie Foster, True Detective, Night Country; Brie Larson, Lessons in Chemistry; Juno Temple, Fargo; Sofia Vergara, Griselda; and Naomi Watts, Feud, Capote versus the Swans.
All right, Kyle, what do you got?
So, my will win is I said this show was about these two people, so my will win is Jodie Foster from True Detective. I think that whole series is about Callie Reese and Jodie Foster and just navigating that town. So um, I think she's my will win. My dark horse here, I really was not sure. I've heard great things about Sofia Vergara and Griselda, but I just went with what I knew, which is Fargo. So my dark horse is Juno Temple. But I really have heard some really great things about Sofia Vergara and Griselda. So,
Hmm. I will say we match. That's what I got, my Will Win and Dark Horse. I think it's a slam dunk for Jodie Foster. I think it's just industry legend. She's in the most watched show of the five. As you said, it's a two-hander. She's the lead. Like this was her showcase. You know, it's I think it's gonna be her. And then I put Juno Temple as my dark horse. I think, Fargo's right behind True Detective in total nominations. Plus, I feel like she was always like the bridesmaid with Ted Lasso. It was never like she was always nominated, but like never got the win. And it's like, oh, maybe we're like, hey, like we like her. Like, she's done a lot of great work. So that's why
mm,
I put her as my dark horse. But yeah. Oh, well, all right. I got not much else to say besides this. We got this one last category we've been talking about all night. We should just get right
mm.
to it.
The nominees for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series are Baby Reindeer, Fargo, Lessons in Chemistry, Ripley, and True Detective, Night Country.
I think I think of the I mean, this is a pretty strong group.
Hmm.
I only saw 4 of the 5, but like I'd say 4 of the 5 are some of the best stuff we
Yeah.
saw in like the last year.
Yeah.
Maybe better than some of the drama series that we have. Maybe some, I don't know,
Hmm.
the comedy. We'll get to that in a bit. But like, um, if you ask me what I think I would like to see win, I just want to see a lot of love for Ripley. I would
Hmm.
like to see that, but unfortunately, It's not one of my picks for the award. My will win is Baby Reindeer, and my dark horse is True Detective Night Country. Um, I'm not sure the dark horse really matters, but I picked True Detective because it leads in overall noms with 19. It's posed to win at least one acting award with Jodie Foster, maybe some other ones, we'll see. But I think the most talked about sensation, widely seen on Netflix, was Baby Reindeer. So it's just like I think it's sure who knows what the lawsuit behind the scenes stuff if that
Mm,
influences anything at all.
mm,
But like I think this was the show people were talking about this year.
mm.
So that's where I'm going. Kyle, what about you?
So my will win is going to be Baby Reindeer. Um, just for all the reasons you said, it's a very, very, very popular show. So that was my will win. My dark horse going a little bit different direction, just because I loved the series so much. My dark horse is going to be Ripley.
I would love to see it.
Everything about that show, the cinematography, the locations, the production design, it just
It
is
better win some
so,
below the line stuff.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is phenomenal. And just going back to Baby Reindeer, like I did eventually like the show, but you guys can attest to it. I was texting you the
You know,
entire time watching
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing. Like, I can't stand
yeah.
this
John and I
guy.
muted it.
He's
We were like,
so
this is enough.
We started
But-
a new conversation without
yeah,
you.
it was just so aggravating at times, but it was redeeming toward the end. But yeah, there were moments where I was like, "Am I gonna make it through this thing?" And it was only what, 6 episodes? Yeah, I couldn't even. Yeah,
But you
oh,
made it. You did it. You
yeah.
survived. And yeah, that is our limited and anthology series categories. We have 5 more categories to do tonight, and that is comedy. So let's get right to it. Supporting actor.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series are Lionel Boyce, The Bear, Paul W. Downs, Hacks, Eben Moss Bachrach, The Bear, Paul Rudd, Only Murders in the Building, Tyler James Williams, Abbott Elementary, and Bowen Yang, Saturday Night Live.
What do you got, Kyle?
So, I mean, this is the one that he should really win for, and it's Eben Moss Backrack. He should win for that
Yeah.
Forks episode alone. I think when he won, didn't he win last year?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. Yeah.
Yeah, he won last year, but really it should have been for this season's work. So that is my will win, and my dark horse um is going to be Tyler James Williams from Abbott Elementary. He's been nominated before. I think Abbott Elementary is a popular show, so that is my reasoning for that.
All right. So we got one matching. We have the will win matching with Evan Moss Bacharach. My dark horse, I don't know if it matters here.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, where do I want to go? And I kind of went with Hacks because I feel like a lot of people love Hacks.
Yeah.
Paul is the co-creator of it. He's here for supporting actor. 16 total nominations. I believe that is third overall for comedy series. You got The Bear with 23, Only Murders with 21, and then Hacks with 16. A lot of love for it. So that's where I went with that. But as you said, it's Evan. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna win based off of just Bear love alone, but also just like the episode that he was probably judged for last year when he won the statue, which is Forks, the most talked about episode of season 2. And I think it's like a perfect way to like describe this like voting issue we're gonna run into tonight, and sure say probably in every category where Eben, I love him, probably shouldn't have won for season 1. But people had seen season 2 when they were voting for season 1. And now it's like, well, Forks is the one eligible, but they just saw season 3, which
Yeah.
was a so-so
Yeah.
Bear season.
Mhm.
So it's like, hopefully they remember how great season 2 was and how great Forks was for this award. But I mean,
Which-
he's already won other stuff this like season for that, but like that was before this whole season 3 came around. So
And I think even the episode I think it's the finale of season 3 kind of cheapens the Forks
yeah,
episode because it's like, hey, welcome back. You were here for a week, and it's just
Yeah.
like that was supposed to be like this momentous change for him, and then we try and add on to it. It just doesn't make sense. But either way, he should win it for this season.
yeah, I agree. All right, supporting actress.
The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series are Carol Burnett, Palm Royale; Liza Colin-Zayas, The Bear; Hannah Einbinder, Hacks; Janelle James, Abbott Elementary; Cheryl Lee Ralph, Abbott Elementary; and Meryl Streep, Only Murders in the Building.
Okay, so I think it probably at least one of your picks is going to be somebody from Abbott. I bet. I feel like though, like Abbott may cancel each other out, even though like Cheryl Lee Ralph has won in the past. I don't see it this year. Maybe it's because it's like season 3. It's losing a little bit of steam.
Mhm.
My two picks though, I don't know. This is a weird category. My will win. I'm spoiler for my stuff for tonight. I think it could be a Bear Hacks night. So I'm gonna go will win Hannah Einbinder. Dark horse, Meryl Streep. I mean, you got Meryl Streep. Of course I'm gonna put her as like she needs to be one of the two. So I'm gonna make Meryl Streep my dark horse. But I think Hacks is really like an industry favorite.
Mhm.
Um, Hacks is, yeah, again, as I said, third in total nominations. Gene Smart is always a favorite to win. So I think there could be a lot of love for that. And what we've been seeing, this summer, it's like The Bear's not a comedy. The Bear's not a comedy. Hacks is a straight up comedy. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think that could work in its favor a bit. But Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, my will win is Hannah Einbinder, and my dark horse is Janelle James. Um, I think Hannah hasn't won yet, has she?
I don't believe so. I believe it's just
Yeah,
Cheryl Lee Ralph for supporting actress.
yeah. So I think it's probably her time is coming. You're right, because Hacks is getting more love. Like you said, people love it. So. I think she could finally see some hardware from that. And you're right. I just think Abbott Elementary's, still popular, still around and kicking. So maybe they come back with something. They surprise.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I still
Yeah.
think it's crazy that Hacks is doing so well. I mean, I've
Yeah.
only seen the pilot, but I remember us not liking the pilot at all, right?
I
We
heard,
really didn't
well,
like it.
yeah, I heard it got a lot better, but
Yeah,
like,
I haven't started. What's weird about the show is like it doesn't like move me to watch it, but then once I get started, I'm like, oh, there's moments in it where I'm like, this is funny. But the entire thing, I'm like, do I want to sit through another, 10 episodes of this? But then once you get going, it's like, okay, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a chock full of laughs kind of situation. It's like you hit these moments,
Mhm.
and there are moments between. I mean, just working in the industry of like the personal assistant with the talent agents is hilarious and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think if we're looking at, laugh out loud moments. I mean, you don't have those with the bear.
mm,
As you said with Hacks, it's like Only Murders. I don't know if there's that many in that either. I'm not too familiar with Palm Royale, so this comedy category is a little light on the comedy. So I guess
yeah.
Abbott is the real, um, yeah. But yeah, let's see here. Let's now move to lead actor in a comedy series.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series are Matt Berry, What We Do in the Shadows; Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm; Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building; Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building; Jeremy Allen White, The Bear; and DeFaro Wunatai, Reservation Dogs.
Okay, Kyle, where are we going?
Alrighty. So I just think Jeremy Allen White is a behemoth that's just tough to slay. I mean, him and his Calvin Klein underwear everywhere and all this stuff. So I think he is the will win. And for the last season of Curb, my dark horse is Larry David. They might give it to him, being a last season. Last year, I put that in quotation marks because who knows? They may come back, at some point. But those are my options. I just think it's so hard to not have Jeremy Allen White as the winner. I mean,
Yeah.
I could see the Only Murders guys splitting. I love Matt Berry, but no. And Reservation Dogs, I think is like a cult classic, and I don't know how many viewers it gets,
How dare you, Kyle, about Matt Berry? You are really the most devious bastard in all of New
New
York City.
York City.
But yeah, no, it's Jeremy Allen White. Will win hands down. It's easy. Like we got just saw in the chat, Carl Trudell also is predicting Jeremy Allen White. Yeah, shout out to the chat real quick. I've been missing it on my screen. John pointed out a lot of predictions in there tonight, a lot from EDM. I see let's see, even Brett Snyder, Dual Redundancy for the Emmy. Sure. I don't know what category we're in, but I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So yeah, keep those predictions coming in. But yeah, for Dark Horse, I also went with Larry David because why not? Like it doesn't matter. It's Jeremy Allen White's winning. But yeah, Larry David for the final season of Curb. I mean, for the 20 plus years of work he's done, I could easily see that. And yeah, Martin and Steve both kind of canceling each other out, doing similar stuff on Only Murders. Matt Berry, long shot, but lovely surprise. Yeah, Jeremy's already won so much. I mean, he's won the Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and SAG Award this year. He was nominated in that TCA Individual Achievement in Comedy Award I talked about, where it's like all of the comedy performers across all of television he's nominated. So it's just like he's has this. But like I really think like, I saw some people kind of complaining with season 3 a bit, where it's just like, all right, here he is again, just muttering to himself. Like
Yep.
it's a good performance, but like
Nothing happened.
where's that comedy performance? Or like where's
Well,
that?
You know what? I was getting frustrated by the acting from the bear was, and I'm seeing this more and more of just repeating the same like 2 words and then continue. Like they're trying to mimic real life talking. Like I can't talk like an idiot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So they would be like they and then to say the sentence. It's like I know what you're trying to do, but I know this is TV. You can just do the line,
Yeah.
It's whatever. But it's very, very noticeable in the bear.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. All right. Ah, man, we got 2 more to do. And we got our final acting category of the night. Let's go to it.
The nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series are Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary; Ayo Edebiri, The Bear; Selena Gomez, Only Murders in the Building; Maya Rudolph, Loot; Jean Smart, Hacks; and Kristen Wiig, Palm Royale.
Okay. I think this one is another, well, I won't say maybe the Jeremy Allen White, it's happening for him, lead actor. This one I feel really, really, really confident on. I got Carl Trudell also matching me in the chat. But like I could see something happening. That's why I'm going to pick both of them. One is a will win, one is a dark horse. My will win, Gene Smart. My dark horse is Io Debray for The Bear. Just to say, you remember that TCA Individual Achievement in Comedy Award I've been talking about all night? All Actors Across TV? Yeah, she won it. Like she's already won the Emmy and SAG Award for season 1 and for season 2. It's just like the Emmys love her. She has 3 past wins in the last 24 years, 13 total nominations. They love Hacks. She's the star of Hacks. I think it's her for lead actress. The interesting one in this category is a newcomer in this category, because this person went from supporting to lead. Io won supporting last year. but is now jumping to lead in this category. This is where it's going to get a little tricky because, again, we'll know, oh, they really love the Bear. They're going all in on the Bear season 2 tonight. Or was this the wrong move to go? Because, I mean, we saw it with Kieran Culkin and Sarah Snook the last year of Succession. They jumped from supporting to lead, and it worked for them.
Mm.
But, like, I don't know if it's just, this is might be a tougher category than the one she was in.
Mm.
So, where are you going for your picks, Kyle?
I'm going Bear straight down
Mhm.
the line. My will win is Io Edibiri. I just think the Bear season 2 was such a force. I'm hoping that season 3 doesn't muck up what season 2 accomplished. And my dark horse is Gene Smart, because of
Flipped it, yeah.
all the same reasons you had. Um, she is Hacks and she's a star,
Yeah.
and they love her. So you've convinced me with Gene Smart that it really could just be her. But I just hope that the love for the Bear kind of keeps
Yeah.
that momentum going.
It's one of those two, which is also wild to think about because we haven't even mentioned Quinta Brunson's in this category as well.
Yeah, yeah,
She's a huge threat, but
yeah.
like it's just, I mean, it's a really stacked category, especially with those three. And I just think, yeah, like Io definitely could win. And that's why it's like she's there in my list. And you go back
Mm.
and forth on it. She won for the SAG Award earlier this year in February. She got the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but all those she wasn't against Gene Smart. And like so it'd be interesting to see. This will be the first matchup between those two performers. Io was up against, people like two Maisel actors and a Ted Lasso actress. And so it's just like, all right, this is a whole different, playing field of who she's competing against. So
Mm.
we'll have to wait and see. And again, you know, are people mad about Bear's not a comedy? It's like, well, we'll see if that translates here, or it's just her star is rising and it could be hers. So it really is either one. But all right, one last category of the night. Let's do it. Comedy series.
The nominees for Outstanding Comedy Series are Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Palm Royale, Reservation Dogs, and What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, all right. So comedy series. I believe it's you, Kyle. Where are you going?
So I think I made it clear on the previous nominations, but my will win is going to be The Bear, and my dark horse is going to be Hacks. I still think Abbott Elementary is a possible dark horse as well in there. Um, and I do think overall it's a strong category, but I think it's going to be hard to beat the Bear. I really do. I mean, I think voters are going to understand that they're voting for season 2. So
Mhm. Yeah,
that's my thinking.
yeah. I match you. I will win the Bear Dark Horse Hacks. Uh, the Bear broke the comedy record this year, set by 30 Rock with 23 total nominations for comedy series. It's going to win at least 2 acting awards with Eben and Jeremy, maybe, as Kyle predicted with Io as well. I think the Fishes episode, that's the big family dinner
Mm.
episode, is going to win for directing and writing. So it's going to pick up a lot of hardware that night. But yeah, the whole thing is what we've been talking about tonight, this kind of possible backlash during voting. Like, one, as I've been saying, is it even a comedy? There was a lot of talk of that, a lot of people mad about that. And then two, like, while it worked for them last year, it helped season 1 win because season 2 was just so strong and it came out during voting. Because season 3 was mixed, we'll have the inverse this year. And in effect, like, oh, like, that wasn't as good. And like, again, like, I know EDM put in the chat, it's like, but talking about episode submissions, for like, in the previous category with Kristen Wiig, but it's just like, if only voters did their thing and watch the tapes and watch what they were voting for, like, because it used to be like, yeah, in the acting categories, here's my one submission episode. You're supposed to judge it off of this.
Hmm.
against these other tapes. And for series, it was always back in the day, it was like there would be like 6 tapes, be like 2 episodes on each tape. And I think it was like kind of randomized, maybe like, oh, like this voter would get tape A, this person tape B and tape C or whatever. And you would watch those like 2 episodes. You would choose your like 6 best episodes of the season. But nowadays, I don't think with the amount of shows that people are, watching and doing and what's out there, none of them are doing that anymore with the tapes. It's kind of just like, yeah, I heard that was good, or oh, I like that person. Check, check, check.
Yeah.
Oh, like, if you go like through the list, it's like we've been seeing it more and more where it's like Succession, so many nominations. The Bear, so many nominations. It's like they go all in on these one shows and they just see, oh, this person, yeah, they were in The Bear. Click. It's just like that's the mindset. I'm actually surprised The Bear didn't get more of that this year. It didn't go full Ted Lasso in the acting categories, like, with Abby Elliott or Oliver Platt or Maddie Matheson, like all those, like, but so maybe that's like a little bit of a sign, like, yeah, I don't know, but I think it's, yeah, as we've been saying tonight, it's Bear versus Hacks. A lot of industry love for Hacks, a lot of nominations. Gene Smart will win. At least I think so. We'll see.
You got the ballot box back there
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, but possible some supporting wins as well as we talk with Hannah Einbinder. So
Mhm.
you know, it was they had a strong season during voting. It won the TCA for outstanding achievement in comedy. So it's like we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's between those two.
Mhm.
I don't think like Palm Royale or What We Do in the Shadows have a shot. Only Murders, it gets a lot of nominations, but I don't think, like, again, it's like season 3. Like if it didn't win for that first really breakout season, it's not happening now. Maybe a little bit with Abbott Elementary as well. It was so huge coming out of the gate that I don't know if it has
Mhm.
an out. And Curb, I love Curb, but like that's kind of like a tip of the hat kind of
Yeah.
nomination. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, oh, man. Well, that's all we got for nominations. Is there any predictions or is there anything else to talk about? I have one quick thing I just want to get your thoughts on, Kyle, real quick, because they announced the hosts since our last podcast. We got
Mhm.
Eugene and Dan Levy. What do we think?
Mhm.
You excited to see those two co-hosts?
Yeah. I mean, Eugene Levy's a well-known guy in the comedy world. He's been around a long, long time, and I feel like Dan Levy has been like a rising star ever since Schitt's Creek. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see the dynamic, how they work off each other. It'll be cool to see.
Yeah.
And I like that they didn't go like a traditional like stand up or like a late night host that they kind of
Yeah.
are
It's
trying
like
something different.
it's like, oh, it's on ABC. Oh, Kimmel, what are you doing on Sunday? It's
Yeah.
like, no, like we're switching it up, and I
Yeah.
like that, and they don't have anything like I don't feel like they don't have anything that they're promoting right now. They're just,
Yeah.
they're there to have a good time and just offer some hosting and some comedy. So
Hmm.
yeah, we'll definitely check that out. And all right, that's it. That's all we got for our annual Emmy prediction special. You can watch the Emmys on ABC September 15th, and might be either next day on Hulu or FX on Hulu. Who the hell knows where's
It
where's
says
going
next day, yeah.
next day on Hulu. But we're of course going to talk about everything that happened at the Emmys in our next show. We got a lot of big September shows coming up. We have our Emmys recap, which we always do, and then we're going to switch over to movies. We'll have the results from our summer box office draft. We'll recap and maybe review some of the summer movies we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. Plus, a ton of fall movies are going to be coming out, so I'm sure we're going to be talking about them in October. You got stuff like Megalopolis, Wolves, Saturday Night. The reviews for Joker Folie à Deux came out today. So we'll see if we check that one out. But a lot of interesting stuff, at least. I'll give it that. A lot of interesting movies coming out. You can find our episodes of the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doredundancy.com. We are live on Twitch and on YouTube, twitch.tv/doredundancy. And you can follow us on social media on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok at Dual Redundancy. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or, just make sure you're always getting those episodes into your inbox. You will get an alert every time we go live, either on Twitch or on YouTube, when you are subscribed and following us. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight. John directing the show, a lot of moving parts with the AI audio, the images on the screen.
Neither of us caught it. I left out one of the images. I had to do it on the fly. So
Well,
we turned it around. We did it.
You also reminded me about the chat, which shout outs to everyone in the chat tonight. A lot of great predictions, a lot of points. I was like type in as I was hosting. It was a little tricky, but a lot of points in there that are really smart takes. So thanks for joining us in the chat tonight. But all right, I am exhausted. We got to do this again in 2 weeks when we recap these things. But until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm Jeff Berwick.
and I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.